Well, good morning, y'all. I've got a question for y'all right off the bat, and I would love to know the answer to this. I want to know how many of y'all out there had the opportunity to eat at Uncle Bubba's. Bubba passed away in 2019. I can't hardly believe it's been 7 years since I've seen him or talked to him, but I have to tell you, Uncle Bubba's served the best key lime pie that personally I have ever eaten. But I've got another alternative to one that's going to be really, really good because it's going to have a saltine crust. So if you like sweet and savory, you're going to love this. But I would like to hear from y'all how many of y'all out there actually had Uncle Bubba's key lime pie. So good. All right, so as I told y'all, we're going to do a saltine crust. And I'm going to use 1 sleeve of saltine crackers. And how much sugar is this? I can't. A fourth of a cup. 1/4 of a cup of sugar. And we're going to pulse it until it's kind of fine.
Still got that one.
I'm not sure of the scale on the song right there. You lost some sugar.
Oh my gosh. You know, I know that I have to, I didn't lose much though. Maybe about a spoonful. Yeah, I really need to get another food processor. So I'm going to add back that little bit of sugar that we lost. And when I put this top on Eddie, I have to make sure I tuck it back there, and I didn't. All right, so now we're going to add our melted butter because our melted butter is what's going to hold our crust together. Yum. All right, now we're going to try again. I try to come like that away. I didn't lose any that time, did I? Ooh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Ooh, that smells so good. That's sweet and salty. And y'all know I have shared the recipe for Uncle Bubba's key lime pie with y'all. And I hope y'all will try both of these and see which you like the best. All right, and I'm going to dump this into our pie plate. Ooh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And, you know, I like to use something to kind of help me along. Get that crust even in there. And the recipe says to refrigerate it for 10 minutes. But I have to tell you, I don't really do that. I just go ahead and put it in the oven. And it works every time. That looks delicious. So I'm going to bake this in the oven at like 350 for maybe 7 to 8 to 9 minutes. It doesn't take long. But if you don't cook this crust, it will fall apart when you go to slice it. So by baking it, that makes it become like a real solid crust. That's the trick. Now we're going to move on to the filling. And I'm going to use 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, which is a pretty much staple for key lime. Ooh, this is really thick down there. All right, now to this, I'm going to add 3 egg yolks. These eggs are from our little baby girls out there. And their yolks are not yellow. They are pure orange. Never seen anything like it. Our other chickens didn't. Look what color it's making it. I don't recall our other chickens having a yolk that was so orange. Do you, Eddie?
Yeah, it seems like, well, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of like the duck egg, but.
Yeah, it's duck eggs. Okay, our sour cream. And now I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of key lime juice. And you know, key limes they're small and they're not quite as tart as a regular lime. So it takes a long time to squeeze enough to get a 1/2 cup of key lime. So I always just turn to the juice. All right, so we're going to just mix this up real good. And the last thing I'm going to add, that probably needs a few more minutes, Teresa. I don't know, because the oven was kind of cold when I put it in there. All right, so we need about a 1/2 teaspoon. And whenever I'm adding zest to a dish, like if I'm using the mixer, I stir in my zest because a lot of it will get caught up in the beaters, and I don't want that. Because that zest, it's pretty in there, but it really enhances the flavor of the key lime. Okay. So I'm going to stir that in with my spatula so that I don't leave one little speck of zest. All right, so I'm just going to move this and let it sit off to the side, y'all, because our crust needed to cook a little bit longer. You know, the recipe calls for 12 minutes, but I usually find that 8 or 9 minutes is enough, but that's my oven. So, like I said, I'm going to put this aside because when we take our crust out, we've got to let that cool completely. There's our crust, y'all, and I may have cooked it for about 10 minutes. But we got to let this cool completely and let that crust, you know, firm up. So I'm just going to set that to the side. I think I'm going to set it over here where it can cool from top to bottom. We're getting closer, y'all, with this key lime pie with that saltine crust. I've let this completely cool and it's nice and hard. So when I go to slice, it'll be real firm. All right, so I'm going to put my filling in. And this is going back in the oven for about 15 minutes. Just enough to let the center kind of get set. It's going to be so good. So, so good. And that's going to make Mikey very happy. I want y'all to look at our key lime pie. Look at that. I put a little extra zest on it, and I got some whipped cream on it. And I got a desire. I got everything but a fork. So, I am so ready to taste this. And remember, this is one of my recipes that's varied a little bit from Uncle Bubba's. It's so delicious. Like I said earlier, if you like the sweet and savory. Mmm. Mmm. Wish y'all were here. Teresa.
I'm coming as soon as you close.
Y'all ready to have a piece? Loving best dishes, y'all. And don't forget to spread a little love to somebody that may need it today. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.